Welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. We talk about what's going on, my predictions, what do I think's going to happen. Hey, we even talk about fashion on the show from time to time because I'm a big time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. This week, once again, I don't know what they're doing. Uh, Parts of it was, to me, very corny, but I don't even know if we've truly made any particular headway with the stories that, are current. But I will try my best to kind of figure out what went on, or at least some of what went on. Couple of disclaimers: if you don't want to know what's going on, you kind of want to get caught up on your own, this may not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And if I happen to not mention something in particular, it could be because I plumb forgot, or it really just wasn't newsworthy, so I didn't bother mentioning it. Is what it is, nature of the beast. That's what I like to call it. And if you do like this type of content, you like what you see, you like what you hear, it would be so kind if you hit that like and subscribe button and also the bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. Okay, so the beginning of the week, we saw that Noah, he took off from the hospital. He checked himself out. And Nick was calling Victor, Daddy-O, to tell him this information. Through that conversation, Nick basically is like, Dad, guess what? Matt Clark's alive. And it was like, what? How is he not rotting in hell? Well, I don't know, Dad, but I saw him with my own eyes and he's alive. So yeah, like we have learned, Mitch Bacall is supposed to be Matt Clark. I mean, to me, this is like one of the furthest stretches that they could come up with. That would almost be like if, they brought back Brad Carlton, although he's on Bold and Beautiful, and has been for many years. But that would be like you brought back Brad Carlton, and you remember, he ended up, actually, was he trying to save Noah years and years ago, and then that's how he ended up freezing under the ice? I'll never forget that. But to me, like this whole Matt Clark thing, it's almost like you might as well have done this. Because I would have loved to see Brad back on the show, give Tracy a little love, but such is the life. So yes, everybody's on the warpath to kind of bring Matt Clark to the surface, where he himself will admit that this is who he is. Yeah, but in the interim, nobody can find Noah. So Noah, at this point of the week, beginning of the week anyway, he is MIA. He is AWOL, that kind of thing. So now Victor is like, he's gonna get Michael in on this. And oh yeah, Nick said to Daddy-O that, oh, by the way, Noah's been having an affair with Sienna. I mean, who just gingerly comes up with this stuff? You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, and by the way, Dad, Noah's been having an affair with Sienna. Oh well, Allie, I don't know what to tell you. Now, here's my thing. I don't believe Allie knows this. And I think further down in the week, Noah, well, we learn where Noah sort of is. He kind of mentions something to this effect, like she don't know. So again, poor Allie, who I thought they were very good together, he's been cheating on her, like dipsy dooling around with Sienna? Sienna, come on. Again, I've said those two look so awkward together, like not a match. She looks a good 10, 15 years older than him easily. And no. But anyway, so of course Victor's like, huh, what? Oh, okay, well, I'm going to get Michael to look into this Sienna, person. What is Michael's real role here? He's a detective. You know, this is how I'm saying it's so far-fetched, but okay, we still watch it. This is what we do. So yes, he's got Michael on the case. He's got him hot on the case, and he's going to siphon the information to him for him to do his little investigation. All right. So in the interim, we ended up finding out that Noah is locked in some sort of, looks like a storage closet, or not a closet, but a room anyway. Again, I still say it's the same room that Nick and Sharon were locked in Nice, where the the bolts were on the inside, where they could have just knocked those out. And the same thing is in Noah's room. Just putting it out there, people. But anyway, so not only Noah is in there, but so is Sienna. So it's like the two of them got kidnapped and they're in this room together trying to figure out their way out. Meanwhile, back at the hotel in LA, Sharon is there. She was taking a little snoozy. And then ring, goes the fire alarm. However, a fire alarm goes off. And knock, knock, knock on her door. Was there a knock on her door? Can't remember. But anyway, she goes to her door to go open it. And who's standing there? Mitch Bacall slash, what is the guy's name now again? See? Oh, Matt Clark. I wanted to call him Todd Manning. Oops. He's forever going to be Todd Manning to me. Sorry. Just putting it out. Very, very nostalgic. Okay, so it's Matt Clark standing at the door. Sharon balls out, "You?" And yeah, so he's looking very stern. He's looking like he's going to knock her block off. And he just moseys on into the room. And then Sharon, she's like, "You don't scare me." So, okay, Sharon, if he didn't scare you, why were you like throwing yourself on the couch, kind of inching yourself back from him as he's coming closer to you, and then you're telling "you don't scare me"? Well, wouldn't you have been like toughen up and stand there and stand your ground and be like, "Yo, you don't scare me. Like, I'm not falling for this." No, you're like, "Ah!" Like, oh my gosh, Sharon, get a grip. But anyway, I do give Sharon a little bit of credit, because you know what? The way she handled it after she got her bearings about her, if you will, she was really tough, on him. Now, do I think she was scary towards him? No, but she was like firm and stern, like, "No, I'm not putting up with your poppycock," that kind of thing. And she even said, "Take me, leave my son, Matt." And he was like, "Look, can you just stop calling me that?" In hindsight, I'm just wondering, like, again, it can play a couple of ways. It could be like this guy has some sort of amnesia, that he doesn't know that he's Matt Clark. He's taken on this whole persona of Mitch Bacall. I don't know. Now, I'm thinking that ain't the one. I'm thinking he does know who he is, because who wouldn't? But that he's just trying to play this game. But whatever. Now, here's Sienna going on about he's never been violent towards her, maybe a little like off-putting, but not violent. And Noah's like, he's singing the tune about he's a bad man. He's a very bad man. And yeah, you can't trust him. And he just went off. He's like, this is the first I've learned about him. I mean, my parents had told me about him, but from what I hear, like, this guy is a psycho. Which, yes, he is. So, of course, Sienna's like, I don't know. So then Noah's like, "Look, I'm so sorry, because, ever since he came into her life, it's like her life's a mess." Yes, possibly. But Sienna is playing fast and loose. So she already knows, because she's like, "I don't regret none of this between the two of us." Hello. Can we talk about Allie again here? Like, what did she do to deserve this? No, Noah, you have dimmed big time for me. Whatever. I mean, their whole story is so weird. It's not funny. So now go to Nicholas. Nicholas is, he's on the case. Like he's gonna figure this out. Like who tried to kill his son, and he's getting down to the bottom of this. So he calls up Burrow, and he's like he wants to meet with him. Sharon's losing it about like, oh, what? Like, how are you setting up this meeting and then I'm not involved? Like, this is my son. What are you talking about? And he's like, Sharon, I need you here. Like, what is she at? Ground zero? Like, Nick, cut it out. So then Nick ends up, he goes and meets with Burrow. And then there was this new detective. What was her name? Annie? Could be completely wrong. But anyway, I didn't like her at all. Now, maybe she's like nice and pudding pie, but I don't like her at all. And she's there with Burrow, and apparently they are working on some undercover case together concerning the Bacalls and how there's like some sort of fentanyl. Like, I'm like, oh, this fentanyl madness again. Like, every show I'm hearing about this. So yeah, there's this fentanyl thing going on, and they don't know like if the Bacalls are part of this. And basically, Burrow is playing, he's playing Mitch, and so of course Nicholas like, oh, that ain't Mitch. That's Matt Clark, and I don't know. I could help you as much as I can, but like I don't know what to tell you. This guy's a lunatic, and he's had it out for us for years. Um, yeah, he's like, oh, this guy framed me for murder. For murder. Um, yeah, he did. Very many years ago. Remember, he was played by it was Eddie Cibriani. Yeah. So, needless to say, I don't know. Burrow says he's gonna talk to him, or why are they doing this? Like you barely finished. You barely finished the whole Martin and Laurent craziness. Then you just flew on into Nice and that madness, and 3 people died. And then now this, like, talk about jumping like popcorn. No, this is ridiculous. And then insert back to Victor, and then Adam, he somehow gets a little guest star appearance this week, and Victor's telling him about Matt Clark and Nick and Sharon, and here's Adam. Well, think I should go down and be with Nick and help him. So then Victor's like, what? He's like, well, he's my brother after all. Oh, you know how many years I've been waiting to hear this, son? He's like, so should I pack? Should I be packing? Not yet. I need you to do an investigation. Oh boy. There was that small moment where Adam's like, okay, no problem, but let me just let you know that Abbott Communication, why we talked about it, I don't know. It was not necessary for this entire week, but then basically Adam tells Victor within a short window of time that he did some digging and found out that basically Jill had invested in Abbott Communications in order for them to, start up this business. Whoopity-doo. No, again, could care less at this point. This has been just dragging on forever, and nothing is happening. So to me, it's just not important. But again, I always like to see Adam from time to time because he does bring some sort of funnies to the show. So yeah, that was that. Okay, so we also saw, let's see. Well, we saw Nikki and Jack have their little um, I don't know, breakfast, tea, whatever they were having, and it was just a whole back and forth ping pong match between them about Victor, and then what can Victor do to Jabot, and how Jack was trying so hard to protect his legacy and so forth. Good for you, Jack. All the best. You know Victor's coming after you. That's just a given. Also we saw Lily, and Lily, big bag Lily, because we know she's pregnant. I'm like, this bag everywhere she goes. Oh boy. So Lily is doing this, reminiscing about her and Cane and things that he has said to her since he's come back into her life. Lily, I say this. I know you want him back. Again, no Damien anymore. So it's so easy for, you to fall back into the clutches, if you will, of Cane. Meanwhile, Cane and Phyllis. Okay, raise your hand if you thought that was probably one of the most awkward scenes. Like, to me, when Phyllis was with Nick the first time, when he had cheated on Sharon, again, I'm not a condoner of cheating. However, when those two got together, it was spicy. Now, Phyllis got together with Cane because she is like a hot pepper, like a chili flake, man. She's ready to go. And I'm thinking, well, this looks awkward. Cane just looks awkward with her. I don't know. I don't like it. But I know that Cane's pretty much just using her to get whatever it is that he wants. He even tried, after they did their little dipsy doodle in the bed, he even tried to hack her computer. That was funny. But I knew he was going to get caught, and so said, so done. It was probably like, was it later that evening or the next day? Whatever, I think it was later that evening. They had gone out, and basically Phyllis had an opportunity in order to call him out for trying to break into her laptop. Phyllis, I hope you know that you're getting used. If you're okay with that, so be it. But he don't want you. He don't want you. And you may walk around in your lingerie. He don't want you. He will do whatever with you. Maybe for even like for craps and giggles, but he don't want you. Because even after you guys did the deed, if you will, you guys came trolloping down the stairs, and there was Lily, and she was like, and even Cane looked like, oh no, I've been caught, which you were. And of course, Lily, she said she was disappointed, because Phyllis was like, you're acting like a jealous ex. And she's like, I'm not jealous, I'm disappointed. And so Cane basically, I don't owe you anything, that kind of thing. No, you don't. But I know Lily, her Grinch heart is softening for you. You know what I mean? So it won't take too much for her to just, slink back towards you. Just putting it out there. But in the interim, yes, Phyllis and Cane have been dipsy doodling in the bed. I mean, they even had, it wasn't strip poker, but it was like, what did Phyllis say? Something to the effect of, they would remove a piece of clothing, basically as an homage to letting go of, I don't know, negative things in their life, that kind of thing. And I mean, she was taking his clothes off and naming whatever negative thing for him. but she was naming it. You know, your shirt represents Lily, your pants represent your kids. I would have been like, hold up, wait a minute, like what? Yeah, you're naming my ex, you're naming my kids. Oh no. So yeah, that was that. But quite frankly, those two are again like Mutt and Jeff at this point. Really is just who is kind of, one upping the next. That's what that, I wouldn't even call it a relationship. Um, would I even call it a partnership? It's something, but it's nothing. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, it's something for whatever they're doing right now, but it's not going to go nowhere. It really isn't. And yeah, I think really the highlight of the week, oh, but thank goodness it's over. It's over. Cricket and Danny got married. Oh, I wish I could end it there, but I can't. So Cricket and Danny got married before their I do's. Um, Cricket was all like giddy in her room, and I'll give her that. Like you should be happy and that kind of thing. So Lauren was there in her room with her, and eventually Nina came and surprised her, and they were up in her suite, and she was getting prepared. Um, Meanwhile, Danny was there with Michael and Daniel, and they were pretty much getting prepared. At some point in time at Cricket's suite, someone knocked on the door from the hotel and brought her flowers. She started sneezing uncontrollably and then basically realized that within the arrangement there were some mums, which she was apparently allergic to. So automatically they were all like, who could have done this? Phyllis. Later on, we find out it wasn't Phyllis, it was Esther. She just happened to like the flowers and send it. So she had no way of knowing that Cricket was allergic. So yeah, she was like, "Oh no, I'm breaking out. I'm starting to get hives. My eyes are itchy and my back is itchy." They basically were like, "Oh, take a shower, clean yourself off again, and yeah, hopefully it gets better." Magically, she was good. Within the wedding, I mean, Michael, he was the one that performed the wedding, and that was fine. That was all right. But as a side note, I want to give the best dressed at that wedding to nobody other than, and you won't believe it, Amy. Amy! And I mean, she looked phenomenal. I loved her dress. It looked so good on her. Her hair was great. Her makeup was on point. I mean, she looked fantastic. Holy jeez. I said to my daughter, I'm like, oh my gosh, Amy? Amy. Yeah. So I'm going to give them like 2 hands up. She looked phenomenal. Meanwhile, you have Tessa in this little, almost like a little, I can't even say it was a prom dress. It was just like this little, just shuffle off dress. I don't even know how to best to describe it. This little floral piece that I was like, I have seen her in way better attire than that. Yeah, it was not becoming. Not even Abby. And normally Abby looks really good. Not that she looked bad, but they've done much better for Abby. So I was just like, oh. But it was nice seeing Abby because, you don't see her that often. I think she's on some sort of contract personally, but I'm pretty sure. But that's why you don't see her that often. That being said, it was nice seeing her. Devon, whatever. Gina, she came back on the show, and I sat back going, I really I liked Gina back in the day, and it would be great for her to have a recurring role, like to come back. Like, let her have her own restaurant again. You know what I mean? Like, I like Gina. Anyway, that's me. Memory lane. Um, yeah, Lauren looked really good as well. I loved her outfit. Esther, she looked great. I will give her that. But man, back to Amy. Can we get an applause for that dress? And how she looked? Oh, wow. Yeah, that one was a good one for me. So, within I guess, the events of the wedding, before they got married, Cane had come in and he wanted to congratulate Danny on, the wedding and for using the place, because remember, he owns the club. And he ends up coming face to face with Amy and Nina. And Amy gave him a few choice words as well as Nina. And Nina just went off on Cane, and rightfully so. I don't blame them. But you know what? Amy handled it with grace. I will give her that. So, Cane knows that he's deserved it, and yeah, he couldn't say nothing about it. He just had to take it and just own it and move on from there. We did see Phyllis as it pertains to the wedding, where she was putting her little dings in here and there at Cricket, Danny, whatever. At some point in time, Daniel was like, Mom, you need to leave and I don't want to see you again for the day. Like, no. So at some point in time, this is after the wedding, because again, they got married pretty quick. What was it? So after the wedding, Phyllis, because they were doing like some toast, and Phyllis, she just barged in and she was like, can I make a toast? And she, you know what? I'll give her, even though there was like maybe a little bit of stick it to you underneath what she was saying, she still, in her own weird way, she still paid them a compliment on their nuptials. So, yeah. I don't know. Apparently, they're off to Paris for their honeymoon. Again, can we just let them ride off into the sunset? And yeah, we're good. Was it a decent wedding? Sure. But I hate to be biased. Those two are just, whatever. So yeah, that was pretty much that. And that wedding thing lasted for pretty much 2 days. So it took up the majority of time, because really it's just been this back and forth with Noah. And we did see Claire briefly. She's just so annoying. She doesn't want Holden. She don't want what's his name? Kyle. What does she want? Who knows? However, I saw some murmurings, if you will, and I don't necessarily think it's true, but would I like it to be true? Absolutely. Just to stick it to Claire, that Kyle will end up somehow, as the powers that be, that Lola will come back into his life. I said it, Lola. Now, would I like that to happen? Absolutely. I would love Lola to come back, because she added a little bit of spice to the show. She added spice to that relationship, and I liked it. She was probably a little boring at the beginning, but then once she kind of warmed up, it was pretty good. And I think that that marriage probably could have lasted if Kyle wasn't such, like, he was an idiot. I mean, where Summer came and just was able to swoop in and that, oh no, that was a mess. But hopefully he would have learned his lesson. And he's, in my head, he's dodging a bullet where Claire is concerned because she's so wishy-washy. She's talking about, talking to Nikki about, you know, how much fun she had in LA and how Holden, makes her smile. And then, of course, Nikki, well, that's wonderful. Well, that's great. Oh, seems like you had a really good time in LA. That's like Victor and I, at first, I was just so naive and, he was so worldly and, oh boy. So yeah, they had their little moments. I mean, we did see Holden briefly. I think Audra had come in. Her whole thing is they need to hide their secret because Holden didn't tell everything. He didn't say everything to Claire. I mean, why would he? Because he knows he's shady, and of course we know Audra's shady. So I had given her a pass for a hot moment last time, but now I she's on her own. I gave her a little bit of a just almost like a small hall pass, if you will. You're allowed to go from here to there, and that was it. And now you're on your own with your little dirty little secret. And Holden, you are so shady. I mean, even Lily told you this week, why don't you just get up and like leave? Like, whatever you're doing with Cane, it's not going to fare well with you, or for you, sorry. So you should just hightail it right out of town because, like, you ain't needed here, whatever. And I think that's actually pretty good advice, just personally. I think he's wasting his time being here in Genoa City. Just putting it out there. But yeah, that was pretty much the week. Don't know how much more there was. Again, if I didn't mention something in particular, I just completely forgot about it because this week, once again, it was pretty much all about Danny and Cricket for the latter part of the week. And, who knows? I think this week coming, we're supposed to see Ashley again. Oh boy. Yeah. What else? Oh, I will say this. This week, what I did like, and don't kill me, but the fact that Daniel and Tessa seems like they're kind of pushing a little more forward in their friendship slash pseudo relationship. They kissed at the wedding. I was like, about time. Again, I'm not an advocate of, but Tessa and Mariah's relationship, that's pretty much that's like a wash at this point. So she needs some happiness, and so does Daniel. And the way he looks at her, whoo-wee. It's like his eyes, the way he looks at Tessa is like he is just drinking her essence in. I mean, he is loving on her something fierce. So I look forward, as I've said before, I look forward to them moving forward in a relationship, figuring out, how that's going to work. And yeah, set Mariah free. Just set her free because as far as I'm concerned, she set you free. Isn't that what you basically said? Like, I don't know. She don't want to see you. She don't want to talk to you. She don't want to talk to her daughter. Like, you need to move on and you need somebody in your life. Not that you have to have one, but I think that it would be good for Tessa. Just saying. So yeah, there you have it, folks. If you stuck around to the end of this video, I really appreciate your time. I love you lots and it means the world to me. And once again, if you do like this type of content, you like what you see, you like what you hear, it would be so kind if you hit that like and subscribe. And also that bell notification right there below. And that way you don't miss a single video that I post here. And, we're going to hope for the best, see what happens this week coming. And I will catch you on the next video. Bye.